if you haven't already heard, I'm going to tell you now, Miss USA 2022 will be held in Reno Tahoe. And I had to make an episode about this because I feel a certain sort of way about this news. Welcome to the channel. My name is Danny Walker. Thank you for clicking on this episode. So happy to have you here. If you enjoy content like this, please consider subscribing and hitting that notifications bell. And if you're a contestant that's preparing for a competition, be sure to check out my free pageant prep course that I'm linking in the description. So let me give you a couple quick updates about the show, and at the end I want to talk about some accommodation options that you have if you plan on going to Miss USA this year, so I'll save that for the end for those of you who want to actually see the show. The pageant is being held in Reno Tahoe, and it was also held there in 2019 when the late Chesley Christ was crowned as Miss USA. That was the year after I competed at Miss USA, and so I went to go watch and support as Sarah Rose crowned her successor. And I didn't really know what to expect, although in recent years I had gone to Reno and I wasn't thrilled by that experience. So this year the pageant will be held on October 3rd for the Miss USA contestants, and the Teen USA contestants will also be competing, but they will be crowned on, or the new queen will be crowned on October 1st. So we're continuing that tradition right now of seeing them get crowned during the same week, which is cool because it's like, you know, two birds with one stone. You get to see both shows if you'd like to. It makes it convenient. The pageant will once again be at the Grand Sierra Resort, and I have some thoughts about this. I'm going to paint a little picture for you of Reno Tahoe and give you some quick clarifications here. To me, Reno is like a sad version of Las Vegas. It could be a mini Las Vegas, but it's not because it hasn't really been upkept. Here's some background for you. When I went in 2019 with Liz, Miss Michigan USA, from my year, we couldn't stay at the host hotel because all the rooms were booked up. We booked last minute. Since the host hotel had been booked up, Liz and I stayed at Circus. We stayed in their wing of newly renovated rooms, which I would highly recommend to you if you want to stay there. But even though that part of the hotel was renovated, the rest of it wasn't. So nothing had been updated since I don't even know when, but it looked like it hadn't gotten an update since at least the early 90s, to give you an idea. Now, of course, the price reflected that as well. So that's one of the good things about hosting it in a city like Reno, is that the costs are going to be a lot lower than, say, Vegas. It's going to be a lot more affordable for all the families and fans that want to watch the pageant. So that's one upside of this. Now let's talk about the downside. Since this is like a mini Las Vegas, there's not as much to do for the contestants. And so when the pageant was held there last year and in the same venue, the contestants didn't get out very much. They primarily stayed in the hotel. The contestants that did get out of the hotel, they went to Tahoe for a day, a few of them, and did a photo shoot. Then the others went to the downtown area and they participated in a photo shoot with some sculptures from, I'm assuming, local artists, but the rest of them stayed in the hotel, and I didn't love that. Now look, say what you want about my year at Miss USA, but there were a few things that I think were done very, very right. First of all, our venue. We had historically the longest runway at Miss USA. It was 75 feet long, which is the equivalent of what used to be the Victoria's Secret runway. We competed in a coliseum. It was a massive venue. I've gone to a lot of pageants, and the last time I saw a venue quite that grand and large was Miss Universe 2018 in Thailand, which was spectacular. Great job, but we know Thailand puts on good shows. Now, the other thing is that when I had competed, they made great efforts to really show up for us. Like, the community did a lot for us. So most of us were going out on actual outings. For my outdoor outing, we went to this outdoor zoo, alligator petting zoo kind of deal. I don't really know how to describe it, but we actually got to go zip lining over all of the swamps. It was really cool. We got to learn about the alligators. It was very, very fun. Some of the other contestants went on one of my dream days, and they spent the day on a boat with charcuteries and snacks and hors d'oeuvres, and they got to go and experience the Louisiana bayous all day. Personally, I would rather have done that. So we had outings, and then What they did too on another day, which was extra special, is they threw us Mardi Gras in May. So they actually had these huge parade floats. They gave us tons and tons of beads. The local news station was there. They took all the kids out of school so that the kids could line up the streets for us. And it really made it this huge, big, fun event for not only the contestants, but for the community. And then we also did this fantastic evening, a taste of Shreveport, they called it, and we got to go to this rooftop building in the downtown area, and all of the best restaurants in town cooked for us. So it was just this super fun night. We had a live band, live music. It was a great time, okay? I think that they did a pretty good job for us, honestly. Well done for the outings and activities. But we're not really gonna see that here once again, I don't think, for Reno Tahoe. I am gonna share some of the things that I just checked out are in the hotel, and this is what the contestants kind of did last time. So there is a bowling alley, of course there's a pool, there's some sort of arcade, there's a driving range, they have a little movie theater, an ice rink, now they have an escape room, I don't know if they had that in 2019, as well as axe throwing. They also have Grand Adventureland, and from the looks of that, there's go-karts or something there. Yes, there are things that the contestants can do, but are they very far outside of anything that they've experienced before, considering that they live in the US? Not really. Like, this is stuff that kids in the US oftentimes are gonna grow up doing, like going to arcades and going bowling. So what I like to see though for pageants are more unique experiences. Things that's like, oh, you'll only get to do this at Miss USA, or only really get to experience this at Miss Universe, or this is the first time I've experienced this at Miss Universe. For me, part of my disappointment is that there's not really going to be many things that are new for these contestants for them to experience in Reno Tahoe. Now, if you do plan on still attending in person, let me give you some tips so you can be best prepared. In Reno, there is this famous sign, and it says the biggest little city in the world. And when I went with Liz, of course, we wanted a photo by the sign. We went down there in the daytime by ourselves, and I have to be honest, we did not feel very safe. A lot of the businesses are shut down in the downtown area. It looks quite desolate. There's quite a large homeless population there, and so as we were walking down the street, which wasn't very far from our hotel, we just didn't really feel safe because we were being approached by so many people. And so that's one part of it. I will say though, on the last day that we were there, we did discover this place. I believe it's called the Eddy that we went to. And it's this outdoor area, like brewery, wine, light bites to eat. That's the best way that I could describe this. They had some great music, they had yard games, there were people of all ages there. When we went, the weather was really nice, so it was wonderful to go experience that part of the downtown. That was my favorite part. Across the street from there was an Italian restaurant. We actually had dinner there. Nothing to write home about for that. The prices were moderate. The food, I would say, you know, once you've had Italian food in New York, they have incredible Italian foods. Like, you really can't compare it to other places, aside from, I'm sure, Italy, which I haven't experienced yet. So that was just something I would say, like, the food was okay, but the Eddy was a nice little experience downtown. Now, the other thing we did was rent a car, and this is really important, and honestly, I would suggest this. If you're gonna spend the money to go to Reno, go to Tahoe. But Tahoe is a little over an hour outside of the city, and you're gonna need a car to get there. There are two sides to Tahoe. There's the California side, there's the Nevada side, there's things that you can do on both. It's a really, really beautiful area. We actually got an Airbnb there, and if you want to see the vlog on that entire adventure, I can show you. We made sure to do a couple things there. We trekked down to Bonsai Rock, and this is a very, very Instagrammable place. You'll see it probably on Pinterest. A lot of people talk about it. It is a little tricky to get to. You just gotta kind of go down the side of this hill, and there's no clearly marked area for it, so you kind of just have to look online and follow directions the best that you can and park where you can, and then you kind of scale down this little hillside and you get there and you're there. Now, since the pageant's in October, the water's probably going to be too chilly, but it is really, really beautiful. Even if you want to see it, get a couple of photos. If you're familiar with the show Bonanza, you can actually go to this lookout point and you can see where they filmed Bonanza. That was cool, we did that. And then also we had a really nice evening and we went to the Ritz-Carlton one day. And even though we went at the beginning of spring, you're in the mountains, there was still snow all around, but it was a really, really beautiful dinner in Tahoe. Of course, we did splurge for that, so that's something to keep in mind. The rest of the time that we were there, we went to local restaurants, so we found this really, really great Mexican restaurant that I personally loved. I cannot remember the name of it. It's probably in the vlog though. But check it out. Tahoe is such a beautiful place, but just be prepared. Rent a car for that. Be ready for that. This isn't, something that I personally would do a day trip for because I really like to take my time and not be rushed for things. I already took a look at the host hotel for you, and currently right now for the dates around the pageant, it's only $89 if you book directly with their website. I also found out that the price goes up to $156 on third-party websites, which will be an option, but I think that these prices are going to rise prior to the pageant. Like I said, last time it was booked out, so I don't know if I'm going to be able to make it. I don't know if I'll book this. I might just reserve a room just in case. We'll see. Also, for the $89 price, they mentioned that this includes airport shuttles, free self-parking, and fitness center access, which confuses me because I've personally never stayed at a hotel or a resort and I didn't have access to the fitness center. This is how I feel about the show being hosted in Reno Tahoe, but let me know what your thoughts are. Are you excited about it? Do you plan on attending in person? So that's really all the information though that you need to know. It's what I can share from my personal experience. Like I said, I am not thrilled about this just because there are so many better places and cities that I think that we could host Miss USA in that would provide a lot more for the contestant experience and also for the people that are going to be there and supporting them. I'm all about that. It's like if you're gonna spend the money to book a flight and book a hotel, I would rather go to a city that has so many more amenities and attractions and spend just a couple $100 more, or like $20 more per day for your hotel room than to spend the money and go to Reno. But that's from my personal experience. I know there's some people that just love Reno. So, keep that in mind, but take this into consideration if you're deciding on attending Miss USA this year. If I can, of course, I would vlog the show for you, but we'll see. So thank you so much for tuning into this episode. I greatly appreciate you. I hope that you're gonna check out more, and if you wanna watch more coverage of Miss USA this year, then check out these recent episodes right here. And of course, don't forget to subscribe so you know when new episodes come out every week.